Hey folks, it's Eugene here, and behind me I've got this trailer that's been parked outside my office. They're doing some work around here and it's parked here, and I figure it's fair game. I can scan this because it's sitting right in front of my office. So I thought this would be an interesting one because it's not a typical car or something like that, and it has, slightly different geometry. So what I want to do is just walk through the procedure of how I would approach something like this and just give you a few tips on, how to get a more complete scan. So whenever I approach a scanning project, whether it's photogrammetry or laser scanning or Recon 3D, there are four things you need to focus on, okay? The first one is the sensor, okay? What kind of sensor are you using? Is it a digital camera? Is it a terrestrial laser scanner? Or is it Recon 3D using the Apple LiDAR sensor? And if it is, you have to know what the sort of limitations are of this sensor. So on the Apple LiDAR, you know that it's about a 5-meter range. That's pretty much what you're gonna get on it. Now, I'm never gonna be farther than 5 meters on this trailer here, so I'm good with that. I don't need to make any sort of particular settings or changes to that. The second thing you need to think about is the object itself, okay? Is it bright? Is it dark? Is it shiny? Is it reflective? So we do have black surfaces here, but it's kind of dirty, okay? So that's gonna help us a little bit. There are some shiny spots on the side or whatever. They may cause us a little bit of grief, but probably not too bad. So I'm not too worried about it, but I am gonna be a little bit careful with those particular surfaces. The next one is going to be the environment that I'm in. Now, the sun is past the building and I'm kind of in the shade here, so I'm not too worried about being in full sun or anything like that. But earlier, the sun was sort of about here, just passing over here, and when I would point the phone this way, I could get glare. So actually on the back side, you can see it's sunny, so if I move there and I point the lens towards the sky, or if it catches the sun the wrong way, you'll see I'll get some glare, and that's gonna affect the color that I'm picking up as well. So you wanna be careful there. But otherwise, temperature-wise, it's fine. I'm not gonna overheat. I doubt I'm gonna overheat now. It's fairly comfortable, so I'm not too worried there. Finally, the capture method, okay? So the method that you choose to capture could be like a ring method where you do a whole bunch of loops around an object. You could just do one loop and then just kind of paint the top and the bottom. There's some different techniques. Now, whenever I do a video, I prefer to show the loop method. I just find it's easy, it's organized, and it's very structured. So that's probably what I'm going to do with a little sort of, a little difficulty in there, and I'll show you in a second here. Some of these surfaces and stuff like that, I may want to go around and do with a little bit more detail, like moving the phone. I'm not going to get too picky, but let me just walk you around because I only got one camera, so you're not going to see me on the back end here. So let me do that. I'm just going to put my selfie stick down, and we are going to try to do this all in one take, if I can. All right, so let's give you a little tour here. So what you got is a trailer, okay? Dark, white rims, stuff like that, not too bad. You got some different things going on here. Like sometimes you need to be careful with these little pipes and stuff like that. You got these surfaces that are black, so you want to be able to point the sensor up on the top here, sometimes at the front. If I'm moving around the side, you may want to be, pointed at these particular surfaces if you're really interested in picking them up. Over here, same kind of thing. And of course, inside, let's say I'm interested in something that's inside here. I've got the wheelbarrow, I've got some stuff over here that I can scan. So I need to think about hitting the faces, inside faces of the trailer. So when I'm on this side that I'm pointing here, I'm gonna make sure that I point there. When I'm on the other side, I'll point the other way around. And if I move this way, okay, the sun is sort of over here. You can see the line where the sun is, so it's probably not gonna bother me too much. But back here, you see I got a little bit of a tight spot over here. Now, I can't actually squeeze myself in here, but let's say for the sake of argument, this is up against a fence or something, and it's really tough to sort of squeeze in there. So what I'll do is I'll scan over here just by standing here and moving the sensor, then I'll go back around the other side and just fill in or make sure there's overlap, but I'm gonna have to sort of do closing the loop, but I can't pass through and continue. I'm gonna have to keep bouncing back and forth around the trailer here. So I think that's pretty much it. Let me go back this way, and I'm gonna put this back up here, and we're gonna get started. Alrighty, that's in there. Let me get my selfie stick here, get the phone going, and I need to be recording, so let me do that as well. So let me get that going, microphone's on, and let's see if this is gonna work. And okay, looks like we are recording and should be hearing me, and I'm gonna kick open Recon 3D here. Okay, so I'm just gonna use default naming. I'm not gonna put any names, and we're just gonna go through here. So I'm just gonna use the default settings, 5mm, 5-meter depth of reconstruction. I'm not using targets, okay? Normally I would use targets to get good scale, but I think the purpose of this is more about the approach, the scanning technique here. So I'm just gonna hit save, and we are ready to go. So in terms of starting, let me start on this side, and then I'll work my way around, and then I'll be bouncing back and forth and show you what I got. I'm also going to prepare the selfie stick. Little tip here, okay, on the selfie stick. Sometimes, okay, if you have a really long selfie stick, it's hard to walk with it because it's kind of on an angle or whatever. So sometimes what I do is I just leave it all open and ready to go. And as I go around once or twice, as I'm going around, I'll just put one section down, lock it, then use it, then put another section down as I'm going higher and higher, use it, and then put another section down, and so forth. Now usually I'll start from the top and go down. I just went from the bottom up, but I'll go the other way around, and it's pretty easy. Okay, so basically go around. As you're going, just drop this down, keep this nice and steady, lock it, go back around, drop it, lock it, and just kind of do that, and this way you'll end up with the selfie stick fully extended when you're done. Okay, let's give it a go. All right, we're here. I'm gonna start, see if I can squeeze in there, and start. Okay, now to start with, I'm gonna work on the bottom part. So just make sure that I get part of the asphalt here underneath, and wrap around the front part of the trailer, like that. Okay, and I can see I'm picking up a good bit under there, no problem. Looks pretty good. And on this side, I'm gonna pretend that, you know, I can't squeeze all the way in there, so I'm just gonna do as much as I can over here, and then I'm going to try to hit these faces like that and come back around. Now this time I'm gonna move, you can see I'm up a little bit higher, I'm trying to hit the sides. Okay, that's pretty good. Like that, hit the front, come back around this way. All right. That's good. I'm gonna wrap around, make sure that I get that overlap to where I was before, same spots. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna start to go up a little bit higher. So I'm gonna drop this down a little bit like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna go like this. I'm gonna lock that in. Like that. And you know, I probably didn't really even need the selfie stick here, but what the heck, right? All right, we're gonna go like this. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start painting the inside here, making sure that I get all of this rubbish that's in here, the wheelbarrow. I'm gonna do the same on this side, like that. And you can spend a little bit more time if you need to. Now here is interesting because I've got these black surfaces that are pointed up. So I'm gonna point the sensor down on these black parts, and you wanna get perpendicular to some of these surfaces. Like, so this lockbox at the front, this little toolbox, I'm gonna make sure that I go sideways like that, on the top, on the front face. All right, you wanna get these from different angles and make sure that they're kind of square, not bad. And then over here, that's pretty good, but I do need to get the inside here. So I'm just gonna paint from this side, and I think that'll pretty much do it. Now, if I wanna just kind of get some little extra goodies, I wanna hit the back here, right? On the top, back here. Make sure that I face these little pieces here. And I think you get the idea, but I'm pretty much gonna be done here. And let me just get the back end here, and that's it. Okay, I'm just gonna go like that, come back around, and I'm gonna stop this just like that. Okay, that stopped. I'm gonna start processing this on the cloud, so I'm gonna upload, and that's it. I'm gonna go inside, see what comes of this, and we'll take it from there, and I'll show you what the results look like. Okay, folks, so we are in Cloud Compare now, and you can see that I have the trailer here, and it came out pretty good. So I'm just looking at it all around. Now, I did process this at 5mm resolution, and if I had processed this at a lower resolution, it would have come out maybe like a little bit more crisp, but it's not too bad at all. I mean, it's fairly complete, but let's look at some of the little areas, you know, little critiques and such like that. So for example, here, this part is good. You know, back here, we've got that. Let's check the other side. Did I get that? Yeah, it looks like I got most of it here, and you know, over here. Now, I actually have a cleaned up version of this. Let me switch these out There we go. So I just cut away the walls and stuff so we can kind of get all the way around. Now, little things just to note. So if I go to a top down, you'll see that I've got some gaps here. Now, some of this might be filled in if we choose a smaller resolution. It might fill in some of these gaps, but a lot of this just has to do with the fact that it's a dark surface, it's black, and you really need to point the sensor at this surface that you want to capture. So that's probably part of what's going on there. Near the back here, you also see that there's some little gaps and such. And I thought I might have a little bit of difficulty back here just because there's that mailbox back here. And it was a little bit of a tighter space. So, you know, making sure that you get good coverage with the phone or with the device is really important. Inside is not too bad. So remember, I went and I tried to get all the insides from different angles. So when I was standing here, I would point to the back here. When I was on this side, I would point to this area here. And so, you know, it came out pretty well. And again, I guess the important thing here is to just think about those 4 things that I mentioned. You know, think about the sensor and, you know, what it is that you're doing. And that doesn't matter if it's with Recon 3D, but it could be with photogrammetry, it could be with a laser scanner or whatever it is that you have. The next is the actual object. So you have to think about the geometry, you have to think about the surface features, the texture, you know, if it's reflective and all those types of things. Then there's the environment, right? The environment matters because if it's really sunny or if it's really dark or, you know, something else is going on, you may have to just make some little changes to help mitigate some of the problems. So for example, if there's sun in your facing you, it's low in the sky and you're getting some kind of glare, you may have to change the position of the phone, just kind of point it down a bit so it's not pointing directly at the light, because that'll have an effect on the quality of the color that you get out of the model. And then of course the last thing is the capture method, right? Like just having a very organized and structured approach. That's a very, very important part of scanning and making sure that you get a complete and thorough scan. So that's it for this little trailer project. A little bit of fun there, and hope you enjoyed that one. Give it a go. Practice with Recon 3D. Practice makes perfect, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye-bye.